Hey there, folks. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 7 of my favorite 30 progressive rock albums of the 70s countdown, which we've been doing each and every day, all month long, here in June 2023. I have picked out, and you guys have as well, my 30 favorite prog albums from the 70s, the glory decade for prog rock. Sure, we've seen lots of prog since, but the 70s is considered the classic era, the inaugural era, the great era of prog rock. I have limited myself to a maximum of 3 albums by any one band. The reason why I did that is otherwise I'd probably have 5 or 6 bands taking up the entirety of my list of 30. Because, there's a bunch of bands that had 4, 5, 6 great albums in the 70s. Wanted it to be a little more interesting than that, right? So I've got a couple of bands who will appear 2 or 3 times on this list, as you've seen already. Today's as well. And just trying to squeeze in as much stuff as you can, because you really can't, right? When your overall list is probably 150 or 200 albums, 30 is not a lot, right? So there's a lot of albums that I really like and really love a lot that just aren't going to make the list of 30. Doesn't mean I don't love them any less, right? Just you got to pick 30. So this particular album is the 3rd studio album by this British band. Holy moly, what a surprise, right? I think I'm going to go at the end of the month, I'm going to go and look at the entire list and see how many were British bands. Pretty sure it's a great chunk, right? Released February 19th, 1971, recorded at Vizian Studios in London, as well as Fitzrovia Studios in London. Seems like Vizian was the pretty popular studio around this time period for some of these types of albums, right? It's not the first time the studio has come up during this countdown here. Produced by Eddie Offord and the band for Atlantic Records. Of course, I'm talking about the Yes album by Yes. An actual transition album for the band, because here we've got a change in personnel for the first time. Out is the very fine guitar player Peter Banks. In the very, very talented Steve Howe from the band Tomorrow on electric and acoustic guitars and backing vocals. John Anderson, vocals and percussion. Chris Squire, bass guitars and vocals. Mr. Tony K on piano, organ, and a little bit of Moog synthesizer. And Bill Bruford, drums and percussion. And of course, we've got Colin Goldring from the very cool band Gnidralog playing recorder on I've Seen All the Good People, right? A nice little guest star from a very obscure musician, but for those who are big fans of prog rock from this era, Gnidralog was, fairly well known amongst the community. To most people, they're kind of like, Gnidralog, what the hell kind of name for a band is that? Very cool band. If you never listened to them, check them out. So this again signals this is a new era for the band, and it also kind of is the new beginning and an end, because this would also be the last album with Tony Kaye on keyboards to make way for Rick Wakeman. And based on what you hear on this album, you can kind of tell that the band are moving in a different direction, that maybe Tony Kaye is not the right guy anymore for what they're planning on doing. No disrespect to Tony Kaye, really good organ player, piano player. He was not much of a synth guy, right? They were looking to do all sorts of cool and crazy things, right? That probably went a little above and beyond Tony Kaye's knowledge of new technology, new equipment. That's why they brought in Rick Wakeman, who could do it all. Could play Hammond organ, could play piano, could play the mellotron, and of course was already a master on the Moog synthesizer. So that made all the difference in the world. But that's a story for another day. So here we've got, again, not a lot of tracks because we've got some longer suites here and things like that. So it starts off with one of the great Yes songs of all time, Yours Is No Disgrace. Bam, 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 boom. An amazing song. Amazing song. Contains one of my probably top 3 or 5 Steve Howe guitar solos. Right off the bat, he makes it known that, hey, I'm the new guy in town. pay attention to me, right? I mean, the guitar solo is just great, and there's really great organ work on this from Tony Kaye as well, and Chris Squire's bass, just excellent. It's just an excellent song at just under 10 minutes long. Then you got, speaking of Mr. Howe, then you got the Clap, little acoustic guitar instrumental, pretty amazing for what it is. And that's nestled right after the Big Lawrence, one of the shorter tracks on the album. And the Clap, something that Steve would then go and play live with Yes for decades, right? Then, of course, you got the other big epic on side one, which is Starship Trooper, right? The 3-part Starship Trooper. Yeah, just amazing song. Amazing song, 9 minutes, 29 seconds. And love the kind of cascading finale. Again, another really good Steve Howe guitar solo. John Anderson's amazing vocals. Starship Troopers amazing. Then you got over on side two. All right, you've got the hit on the album, one of the enduring, beloved radio hits from the band. I've Seen All Good People. You're Moving All Good People. Again, it's kind of like a 2-part thing. The beginning's kind of folky, great John Anderson vocals, and then the end is more kind of like a rave-up rock boogie type of piece, right? Kind of not really normal for Yes, but, I've Seen All Good People, again, a celebrated radio track for decades and decades. I personally, I never need to hear I've Seen All Good People again. It was never one of my favorite songs from the band anyway, but I've reached like kind of overload with Seen All Good People. I've just heard it way too many times over the 40 plus years I've been listening to Yes. Then you got, A Venture, right? Which, again, I believe that's the second shortest piece, just over 3 minutes long. That's a nice little track written by John Anderson. And then Perpetual Change, which for me, Perpetual Change is the sleeper deep cut on this album. Because, you've got 3 very, very well-known Yes tracks, and Yours Is No Disgrace, Starship Trooper. I'm not kind of counting the Clap here. Yours Is No Disgrace, Starship Trooper, and I've Seen All Good People. Those are the 3 big tracks on the album. I would say Perpetual Change is the underrated song here. Love those. It's just amazing song. Nice and complex. Then you got, the chorus is great. You got those great vocal harmonies. Excellent song. I really like Perpetual Change a lot. Sleeper track on the album. It's just about 9 minutes long. So, all told, you got about 41 minutes in length here for this, which, by 1971 standards, a 42 minute long album that's kind of pushing the length. Most albums were 30 to 35, 38 minutes long. So this one a little on the long side, but that's what Yes was all about. So yeah, so a classic album, one of my favorite Yes albums. How can it not be, right? So let's take a look at the chart performances. All right, again, this is Yes pre, bigger sales. This is just starting to see them show up on the charts in some places in the world. So the Dutch charts, number 7. The UK charts, this made it to number 4. US Billboard, only number 40. Right, so didn't chart anywhere else. All right, so Yes, not quite there yet. However, with the certification, so in the UK, this went silver. Again, I believe this is all cumulative, right? 60,000 copies sold, and the reissue, the 2003 reissue, helped bump that a bit. In the U.S., again, I'm not sure when this was last certified, but I'm positive here in the U.S. Well, this is a platinum album, 1 million copies sold. So maybe not initially, right? Because as I said, it only really made it to the top, to number 40. But I think, with the other albums to come out from the band, Fragile, Close to the Edge, Topographic Oceans, Yes Shows, Relayer, so on and so forth. I think, once Yes started to become much, much more popular, the earlier catalog started to sell better. So yeah, so a platinum album, 1 million seller here in the States, so as of last certification, so pretty good there. So yeah, the Yes album. And the kind of weird, wacky album cover with that little weird alien-looking mannequin head, right? Very, very strange stuff there. So anyway, that's my pick for today. The Yes album. Let us know what you think of the Yes album down in the comments below. It's my number 7, and list your pick for number 7 for today. And we've only got 6 left, right? And then we move into a completely different ball game for July. We're staying in the 70s, but we're talking about our favorite hard rock and metal albums of the 70s. Oh boy, like I said yesterday, I still have not finalized my list. I'm planning on spending quite a few hours with it some night over the next couple of days and get that all ready to go. It's proving to be difficult, right? Because there's a lot of very well-known bands who had a great run of albums. There are some very lesser obscure bands who had terrific, like, short little runs, 1 or 2 albums, right? And there's a lot of stuff that falls in between. And of course there's stuff that's kind of heavy. Are they really a hard rock or metal band? Are they more of like a, just a regular rock band? Are they a prog band but had a couple really heavy albums, right? There's a lot of that kind of gray area stuff. So I'm going to have to sort through all of that and just do my best, because it's proving to be as hard a task as what we've done here this month. So these are the things I set myself up for, right? So thanks everybody for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page. So thank you in advance for your support there. It's greatly appreciated. And please do hit the like button before you leave. So I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Coming up here on the channel, we've got ranking the albums tomorrow with Griffin. Speaking of prog, Griffin, tackle on that tomorrow, as well as we got the Curse of the Collector tomorrow evening as well. So all that and more here on SOT. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.